Hello everybody and welcome back to a World of Warships Blitz video. This time we are going to be observing a game by Jaspr, who is in the Tier 9 Russian destroyer, the Kiev. So this is a Tier 9 and 10 match. He's, pardon me, one of the low, he's the Tier 9 destroyer in the game. So the opponents have 3 destroyers, his own team have 2. So he starts out, checks out the opposition, some Alsace, some Montanas, a Midway, a Rune, and what looks like I think a gearing in there as well. So a fair bit of opposition, quite a lot of danger out there for young Jaspr. So he starts issuing some instructions to defend the base, checks out the opponents again, and switches to AP. Obviously planning to deal with any destroyers first. Now, in a Russian destroyer, he is a gunboat. It is a Tier 9 destroyer, but it is still a gunboat. Looking at his visibility circle, his detection radius, I suspect he's running a stealth build and has good range with the guns. Now, what he's doing here is he's slowing down, going in reverse, staying with the team, but staying between the team and the enemy destroyers. So what he tries to do is to screen, to prevent the enemy destroyers from getting in amongst the battleships. So he's very supportive player, which is good to see. Obviously putting himself in a bit of danger there with that Rune, but he's got some backup by what looks like a Montana, and the Rune gets targeted by the aircraft as well. Now those torpedoes coming in, they are still running, so they're probably from that Japanese destroyer, trying to clear the way. And those torpedoes, he was about to turn to move through them, but they were probably fired by the Rune. Relatively short range compared to those other ones that seem to carry on. So he's targeting the Yugumo. He's got a gearing here, so he switches targets to gearing. The gearing starts running in reverse. There seems to be a lot of reversing these days, which is interesting because reversing ships actually relatively easy to hit. But anyway, as long as the opponents do it, I'm all good. And so is Jaspr. He switches back to the Yugumo to basically give it a bit more softening up. Some good hits there. You notice how he's taken reasonable time to observe and fire. He obviously knows what he's doing. He lights a fire there on the gearing, which the gearing then puts out. But any fires from now on in will burn quite happily, so he's in a good space. So he's reversing. Now what that means is that if the gearing has fired torpedoes, they will pass in front of him. The gearing goes behind cover. Looks like he may even be popping a smoke. Is he popping a smoke? Can't see. But he gives the Yugumo a bit of a hammering. Yep, that gearing's disappeared. That's probably smoke. What he does is he fires a couple of torpedoes, basically to give the gearing, to make sure that the gearing doesn't decide to pop out from behind that island to punish him. He does pop out from behind the island, but he has to keep moving. And with these extremely long-range guns, he puts a bit more effort into the gearing. Now, he's used to heal. He's using premium consumables, which at high tiers is good. They do have a better result. And he's popped his first heal, or is it second heal? It looks like a second heal, actually, in order to help recover his health, so that he can then stay in the fight. Now, that gearing seems to have taken out a friendly Baltimore. A Baltimore by the name of Tirpitz. That's confusing. But he's taken out a friendly Baltimore. And Jaspr is now facing 3 destroyers and his little trusty Tier 9 Russian gunboat destroyer. But hey, you know, that's what Russian destroyers are for. This Yugumo's hit the island, tactical beaching, but Jaspr flushes them out, keeps them on the run, and here he's pretty brave actually. What he does, he spends a lot of time just lining this gearing up, and comes back in time to deal with this. You can see how he's thrown it in reverse. So he fires his torpedoes and he accelerates, turns in, and cuts straight through, takes out the Yugumo, And he's got this gearing. Now the gearing is the bigger threat of the two. It's got the better guns, although it looks like he may have smoked up. And so Jaspr will take what he can get. He's turning in to present a smaller target, and also there's potentially a lot of torpedoes, and it'll only take one torpedo to wreck his day. He keeps up pressure up on the gearing, goes in reverse, slaloms in reverse, lights a fire on the gearing. Gearing puts it out, spots some torpedoes. Now, reversing through a line of torpedoes, yeah, it takes a bit of skill, because it's easy to... Logically, it's easy to do, but sometimes all that happens is sometimes you make a bit of a mistake, and then, yeah, well, it's all over. So he blasts forward when he can. He's taken out the Ugamo. That gearing got taken out by the Shimakaze, probably to gunfire. a gunfire kill in a Shimakaze. Good on him though. Putting the enemy down on two ships to their 5. Yeah, so a game well played. A very good screen between him and the battleships, keeping those 3 destroyers well and truly busy. So although the damage score may be 56, the actual impact he had on this battle is well above that, because the battleships could go and deal with the capital ships on the enemy team without having to worry about the destroyer. Now, I wasn't watching where the other destroyer in their team was. He was obviously alive at the end of the game because he took out that gearing. So yeah, so that destroyer probably caused some merry hell, and he did, 66,000 damage. Anyway, that was Jaspr in the Kiev, the Tier 9 Russian destroyer. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you found it educational. It was a great game, very entertaining. Well done, Jaspr. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. And here Jasper's going through it.